Okay, so I'm going to be testing out the idea of different splits and microing your probes at the beginning of the game so that you can get sort of a feel for how pretty much useless it is. And if you're at that very, very high pro level, how maybe there is something useful to it, but we shall see. Coming up is my awesome F1 split. I love that, and I've also figured out a much better way to do it. There we go, right here, watch this stuff happening right now. Start a probe right away, and then BAM! One worker to every mineral patch. Hell yeah. Okay, now we're going to fast forward through this. This is pretty boring. All I did was a special split and then left my rally point at the exact same place. Did nothing fancy, nothing different other than that. Fancy F1 split. And this game timer, we're going to benchmark this against just building straight up probes with the one pylon, nothing else, at the 3-minute 20 mark. Oops, there we go. 3 minutes 20, I'm at 840 minerals. So that is going to be our benchmark. And that is all in this one. The rest is just me practicing. It's extremely hard to get really good at microing your probes, I found out. So, come on. There we go. Anyways, this one will just be our next sort of standard benchmark of you don't do anything special. I did not use a special split, and I'm still not going to micro where my probes go, just a single rally point, and all we're doing is comparing the opening splits, the F1 split versus a normal split. We're going to see what the difference is. Mineral-wise, does it matter? So let's get ready to pause this at the 3-minute 20 mark again, building consistent. Okay, I'm going to give benefit of the doubt. 820. This number I've tested out many times. This number can be as low as 805 or 810 is more common. So 820 is on the high side, and so there you go. There actually is a slight 20 or 30 mineral difference by doing the F1 split. So when you're doing a fancy split, if you can pull it off, you will get some extra minerals. How many? Not many. Does it really matter? Depends. If you're very pro level with everything else, or at least very good with everything else, maybe, or if you can just do it. But don't try it if you can't do it well and fast, because it will actually give you less minerals because you spend too much time trying to send them to mineral patches. Anyways, make a few more mistakes while trying to show you a different split. Oh man, I'm gonna go all the way near the end for this one, because I totally messed it up quite a few times. So once I'm at the 7-minute mark is when it's going to be the start of the one we want to watch. So, whoa, there we go. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to be doing intensive micro on my probes, and I'm going to see, will that intensive micro help them gather more resources by telling them which mineral patches to go to. The problem with this, though, is you can easily tell them the wrong place to go as well. So they see doing a split where I just sort of split, send them all, but then grab half of them and send them the other way. That way they don't have to spend that little bit of time traveling to the mineral patch just to travel over here anyways. So really going to be pretty standard, but if you do watch a little bit of micro, grouping them up 2 and 2. It's really hard to figure out exactly perfect timings for this, but after a while you'll get them. And you just want to make sure that none of them, you don't work on these 2 closer mineral patches. Leave those until very late, because those 2 will often screw up everything if you're trying to micro. So just do the further ones way to begin with. And of course, if you have an empty patch and you're not confident on being able to get it to rally to the right mineral patch, just send it to an empty one. As you can see, there was just a little bit, right there, a bit of misclicking. That really hurt me. That could have cost 5 minerals, we'll never know. But as you can see, in general, now I've got them nicely paired up. I've been doubling them up. You'll notice that there haven't been probes running across trying to find that empty patch until they've landed in perfect equilibrium. So this is the very intensive micro. Chose to do a split, not the F1 split per se, but a split that may help a little tiny bit. And well, either way, it was at 840 at 3 minutes and 20. So as you can see, all of that intensive micro does absolutely nothing. Does not save you any resources. Does not get you any extra resources, and it's a waste of time. So really, my suggestion from now on is do a split, learn a split that's going to help you with your opening, but do not worry at all about telling your probes where to go. Just set a single rally point and say screw it, because at the end of the day, as we can see, let's see, if I do this and then press the B key, how far? Oh, damn. Oh well. Okay, we'll just go back so we can have an exact mineral count. Okay, so actually, you get a little more minerals. You get about 10 more minerals than doing the F1 split. Obviously, maybe 20. We'll give it the benefit of the doubt and say 20. But either way, all of that micro, considering that the top 200 players probably aren't going to be watching my channel for tutorials, I think it's pretty safe to recommend do not waste your time doing that little micro with your probes. Just, say screw it and leave it. That 20 minerals is not worth it, but the 20 minerals from the split is, because a split is really easy to practice and master for that early, right as the game starts. So definitely I would look into practicing a split for those 20 to 30 minerals, but the extra 20 minerals you get from micro, I wouldn't recommend it. And the other thing I do want to say as well is that I did do a bunch of other testing, and I tested the F1 split versus my half and half, and they're close enough that that's why I chose in this one just to do the half and half rather than the F1. You might think, oh, if you'd done the F1 split in this case, you would actually have 30 more minerals when you include the micro. So, but still, that micro, very intensive, very hard. I practiced it like 80 times just to get it that good, and that wasn't even perfect. So as you can see, a lot of work, something I definitely don't recommend. So go practice a split, have some fun getting those extra 20 minerals.